What's up, boys and girls? Welcome back to the Steep Stuff Podcast. I'm your host, James Lariello, and I'm so excited to catch up with you guys and bring you an episode, another one, with Miss Jane Moss. That's right, my La Sportiva teammate is back on the podcast not too long after her fourth place finish at the Broken Arrow 46K. We caught up with Jane because Jane is on Team USA. She's going to be racing the short trail distance, so the marathon distance, at Canfranc at Worlds in September. So just around the corner. Caught up with Jane also, not too far removed also from her first place finish at the Cirque Series Snowbird race, which was pretty competitive this year. Jane's been on a heater, and she's got some things she's working on. She's actually, I think we can give this away because she talked about it on the podcast, but she's working on a peak that's in Wyoming right now. You probably could guess it. It's a pretty famous one. So yeah, some good stuff to be talked about there, and I think she's pretty excited about it. So yeah, we caught up. We talked all the things about Worlds, her excitement level, and yeah, we talked post-race Broken Arrow and just a bunch of stuff. It was a good conversation. Always fun to have Jane on the podcast just to talk about things. So super excited. I hope you guys enjoy this one. As always, a favorite of mine. Without further ado, Jane Moss.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
Jane Moss, welcome back to the Steep Stuff Podcast. How's it going?
It's going well. I am excited to be back.
I know. You're a third time. I think this is the third or fourth. So we got a good thing going here. This is we're keeping it rolling.
No.
Lots of good stuff to talk about. For starters, you had a great, I would call it a podium finish at Broken Arrow, even if they just counted as top 3. I think they should start counting like top 5 or top 10 as the podium, in my opinion, with how crazy it's gotten as far as competition goes. You also made the short trail team going to Worlds. You just won the Cirque Series Snowbird. You're on like a heater right now. Like, what's the excitement feeling like?
Excitement is very high. I feel like I didn't really know what this year would bring. I had a lot of different potential plans going into the year. But right now I'm riding a high, very excited on how the year's been going, and excited to see where it takes me. So it's been a fun past few months, and I think it'll be a fun rest of the summer too.
I know, it's kind of crazy. Like looking back, like I think you and I chatted almost like right after Broken Arrow when you had a rough day out. And everything was kind of up in the air. You're like, I don't know if I'm going to go run Gorge and run the 100K, or if I'm going to maybe focus on, shorter stuff. And this was before like you had even signed up for Broken Arrow. So it's kind of cool to see how things have just like progressed, and it's just turned into a really good summer for you so far.
Yeah, I feel like, because we chatted after Black Canyon. And I feel like sometimes the worst races, like I felt really defeated after that and had no idea what my plan would be for the year. But I feel like a lot of silver linings came out of it, and my year is totally different than I could have planned. And I thought my only chance of like making the Worlds team, like I had a tentative plan laid out, I thought my only chance would be for the long course team when I was going to try and race Gorge. Then I kind of gave up on that plan and was like, I'm just going to have a fun year and race things that inspire me. So this was not in my potential plan. So yeah, I think Stoke is reignited after being quite low after last time we talked before or after Black Canyon.
For sure, for sure. You know, one thing I try to remember, like one thing we didn't get into too much from our first episode that I did want to get back in with you is you had a long time of like injury. Like from, I had talked to, and he didn't share too much, but one of your former PTs, Jimmy Picard, had just mentioned in passing one time when I was talking to him about an injury of my own. Because I think he had listened to your episode, and he's like, "Oh, Jane, you know, I'm so excited for her to finally be having, you know, like a great season after some years of injury or a sustained period of injury that you had gone through." Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, I found Jimmy 2022, I believe. Starting in 2020, that's kind of when I really started spending more time trail running and kind of committing to it a little bit more. And then I had really chronic right hip and knee issues that kept me out for two separate periods of like 5, 6 months. And right when I kind of felt like I was finding my stride and started to do more competitive races, like injury stuff would just flare up and I would like have to take so much time off. So I got super defeated. So Jimmy helped me with like a strength training routine. And even like working with him a lot, I still was just like, I just couldn't figure out like the root cause of what was going on. And I was just continually taking a lot of time off. And I honestly feel like up until beginning of last year, I haven't like that's when I really started feeling healthy and that I could start like lining up for races consistently. And I'm just like chronic right side things will always be a problem for me. I have a really immobile right ankle, so just things that I will always be dealing with. But I've learned to manage them a lot better and take off time when I need to, so it doesn't lead to like 5, 6 months of time off. So I could like train and race more consistently. But it's really good to be in that spot after just having like so many times of totally giving up on running because I didn't know if like I would ever be able to solve these injuries. But Jimmy did play a big role in me like finding a good toolbox and like believing in myself and knowing like what load I can tolerate.
It's interesting. It's funny you say that. Like, it's kind of something I'm going through right now is like trying to figure out, like, okay, what is the balance? Like, what's the balance between breaking yourself or like having like a happy medium where like you don't have to take time off, but also you're able to get sustained solid training in for the good stuff, but not overdoing it. It's not exactly a defined science, but yeah, it's an interesting balance.
And yeah, and sometimes it can be frustrating, like over the years of figuring out what works for me. Like I'm not a super high volume runner and I don't think I ever will be. So I have to be a lot smarter with my training. And I feel like with like working through injuries, and trying to train and compete at a high level, I thought I was like the only one that was consistently taking time off and working through these things. But then like talking to other runners and talking to people on the start lines, like it's so extremely common and everyone has these things that they're always working through and you just learn to manage it. And no one's having those ideal training blocks all of the time and no one's able to consistently line up to start lines like whenever they want to. And it's just part of like being in the sport and accepting that this is a very high impact sport and um, takes a lot of load and you have to be smart in the way you're training and racing. But it's like just part of the game and doing everything you can to control that. But yeah, we're all dealt different hands.
For sure, for sure. It is so crazy. I couldn't agree more. Like I used to think like, oh, maybe is this just like a me thing? And then you realize it's like, no, everyone's broken in some way, shape, or form, and they're all just trying to figure out how to show up healthy. And I mean,
Yep.
look at like one of your competitors, or like Ryan Becker was at Broken Arrow. That poor guy has gone through so much with his Achilles. Like just so many different people go through like all this crazy stuff, and it's just interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's
And you
let's.
realize
Sorry.
when you realize like you're on the start line, like pretty much no one is 100% healthy. It's like, okay, we're managing these little tweaks and injuries and we're hoping for the best on race day.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. That's for sure. I got to get into Broken Arrow. I got to talk about this because this was, I got to say, like, I'm not very accurate in my race predictions. Sometimes I'm really good. Like for Sunapee, I was like spot on. Broken Arrow, I couldn't have been more off except for my prediction for you. And I was like, yes. I was like, the only thing I had was like you either in the fourth spot or the third spot, like somewhere in that mix. And I was like, this, I got it. I finally got one. Thank you, by the way. But also, I gotta give you your flowers for like saying like what an amazingly executed race. Like you just had such a good day out there, and I mean it paid off. You were selected for off a resume spot to go to the Worlds team. Can you talk a little bit about how the race unfolded for you, just the nerves going in, how you felt throughout the race, and we can kind of go from there.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for believing in me. The pre-Broken Arrow race interview that we did, you predicted me in top five. I 0% believed you. So thank you for that. Um, this was so I feel like I barely had a training block for this race because I was having a bunch of knee pain. And my coach, Rick Floyd, I talked to him about a month and a half before, and he's like, if this doesn't clear up within like the next couple weeks, probably not a good idea to race. So I was just hoping, I was doing everything I could to kind of help it clear up, and it cleared up just in time. So I had like a 2 week specific training block for Broken Arrow, and I raced GoPro games. That was kind of like my one workout of the block. And then Monday of race week, where I was excited to, I drove out to Tahoe on Tuesday, and I was all excited to head out and do the race. I rolled my ankle coming out of my car and just in my sandals, and my ankle like ballooned and bruised up, and I thought I broke my toe. So I went and got x-rays because I was like, I just broke my foot. I can't race Broken Arrow. And I was like limping.
Oh my god.
um, yeah, this was of race week, and I was like, can't race. I called my coach, and he's like, chances are you'll be okay. I've seen this like way too many times, and I think you'll be fine as long as you can run like the couple days before the race. So I stayed off of it. 2 days before the race, did a flat 4 mile run just to test it out, and it was pretty good. So he's like, you can for sure line up to the start line. Race the first lap. If it's in any pain, you probably have to drop. So I went into this race, honestly, pretty bumming with zero expectations because the block went poorly and I had a bum ankle, but I taped it up and actually didn't feel any pain the whole race. But I like had goals for the race still. I was like, if my foot feels okay, like I can still try and race hard. I really have absolutely nothing to lose because I'm at the start line. Um, so my goal was for the first lap to stay within the top 10 because this field was super deep. And I didn't want to go out too fast, especially since there are 2 laps. And I feel like I'm a little bit better at the longer stuff, kind of strategy wise. So my goal is to come in the first lap top 10, and I came in seventh. And then I'm not necessarily like faster than these people by any means, but I feel like I'm a strong, resilient runner. So I can kind of like keep my paces and effort throughout. So then for the second lap, I was able to pick off a few people and then ended up coming in fourth, which was like me and Rick had talked about that kind of being my strategy, and I was able to execute it perfectly, which I don't know, was honestly kind of surprising to me that I was able to. So my second lap was pretty consistent with my first, which was my goal, but that is hard to do. And not to go out too fast and be able to maintain that for the second lap. So I did execute my race strategy, I guess, pretty flawlessly. Nutrition and hydration went really well during as well. And my coach was actually on course because he coached quite a few of us at Broken Arrow, which is pretty cool. So he was at the top of the first climb in the first lap. And then as I came through the first lap, he was there kind of like giving me words of encouragement, kind of telling me where women were at. But I really didn't know because I haven't done too many super stacked races. So I didn't exactly know who I would be able to keep up with and who I would be racing against. But I had a few people in mind. And I surprised myself that I was able to like race with these women and end up coming in fourth place. So it definitely was a confidence booster of a day. And I'm thrilled with how it played out.
So crazy. I was cheering the whole way. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Jade's going to pull it off. Let me ask you this, because I didn't look at splits before we hopped on our call. Hey, was Danny in sight? Like, did you get close to her at all? Like, were you able, like, did you see her? Like, or, like, were you that close? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the first lap, I saw her pretty much throughout. We ran together for maybe 30 seconds at mile 4 until she passed me, but I had her in sight and I kind of was like, she was in maybe fourth or fifth at that time. And I just know she is such a smart 50K racer that I was like, if I can stay with her in any realm, she's going to run a really smart race. So I saw her, and then coming towards the end of the second lap, she was climbing up, and I was about 2 minutes back, but I could see her. And then I saw her again, second lap, at the top of one of the climbs, right before I passed Grayson.
Okay.
And my coach was like, "You're a couple minutes off of Danny. Like, you can like go get her." Um, so I was decently close to her second half of the second lap. And then she ran an absolutely phenomenal downhill for that second lap and ended up beating me by like quite a few minutes. And I was shocked. I was like, I could literally see her, and she beat me by, I don't know how much, 7, 8, 11 minutes, something crazy.
Oh,
So
wow.
she
Okay.
just ran a super fast downhill. But yeah, she was kind of within my sight for most of the race, which was cool.
Damn, that's crazy. So it's crazy to see how close you guys were. When you finished, because obviously, and I think I asked Noah about this too, because it's like when you finished, you're the first person off the team technically, right? Were you more excited about your result, or were you a little more bummed that you didn't just get yourself an auto spot? Like where was your head at?
I was very excited about my result. I had in no world that I would get top 3 at this race. So that honestly wasn't even my goal. And just the fact that I finished 4th behind these women, and under 5 hours, which I wasn't expecting either. I was just thrilled with my result. I was like, if this gets me on the team, like, amazing. I had quite a few people at the end tell me, because it didn't even cross my mind. I was like, well, I missed top 3. I'm not on the team. But some people were telling me at the end, like, you just for sure earned a spot on the team. And I was
Yeah.
like, but I didn't get top 3. But they were like, this race is weighted so heavily. But it was pretty much only excitement. I had no disappointment when I came through in 4th place.
Yeah, I bet. I got to ask you some Grayson questions. Like, what did it feel like, especially because you guys go so far back? Like, you've been friends forever. What was it like being, in a race with her for the first time in a while? What was it like kind of competing with her? And then now, how does it feel that you guys are going to be on a team together going to compete at Worlds?
It's so exciting. It kind of, I don't know, feels like we've come full circle that we both get to compete at Worlds together now, because we've played soccer together since we were in high school. We both got into running after high school. We were kind of like the two in our high school that like tried to take running a little bit further. I went to her first trail race with her. So it's been really exciting to kind of see her on this journey and to get to share this journey with her. And then when I found out she was going to be a Broken Arrow too, I was very excited, and we ran a little bit together at the beginning. And I did think, because she's never done this distance before, I was like, this is maybe the only chance I'll ever have to beat her, just because she might not know the strategy of a 50K or have nutrition figured out or things like that. But she ended up taking off, and I mean, she's just such a strong runner that I was like, it was fun starting the race with you. I probably will never see her again. And I mean, she now has the ultra game already figured out, getting 3rd at Speed Goat. So I did tell her, I texted her after, I was like, that was before you figured out the nutrition component, that was my one chance to ever beat you. So I will take that. And now she works with Rick Floyd as well. So he's going to help her just take off as an ultra runner as well. But it was, I don't know, it was really fun getting to share the start line with her, and then finishing 4th and 5th too, and both finding out that we made the Worlds team was like, I don't know, feels really full circle.
Special, very special. Like, such a cool moment, especially given just like, like how long you guys have known each other and just like how far that goes back. So very, very cool. All right. So you're on the team now. How long did it, like, I asked, I know Noah found out a little bit later. Who else did I ask? I'm trying to remember. Like, some people knew ahead of time and some people knew a little bit later. It seems like, I don't know if they let everybody know at once. Like, how long ahead of time did you know?
I was told the day of Broken Arrow that my chances were like 99.9%. So I kind of had it in the back of my head that I think I have made the team. But I didn't know officially so they announced it publicly July 15th.
That's right. Yep.
I heard 1 week before that.
Okay.
I got a call, and they told me that I had officially made the team, but not to announce it until they announce it. So yeah, first week of July, I officially found out.
Wow.
There's a little time for anxiously awaiting, like, am I going to make the team? Am I not going to make the team?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can imagine, like, especially because like we said, like you and Noah ended up in a very similar position, and I had already spoken to Noah. So like he had kind of given me just a similar kind. He's like, oh, I hope so, but I don't know. And I'm like, you have to weigh Broken Arrow based off like the way you guys executed your races. It's kind of funny. You're both on the Sportiva team too. I don't know. I find that kind of,
Sportiva represent.
That's
I
right.
know.
That's right. But like the way you guys both executed your races was just so like on point, but just the waiting game and this, that, and the other. See, I was under the impression originally, and I have to correct this publicly because I messed this up and Helen did call me out for it. But like I was always under the impression, thanks Tom Hooper for your spotty information here, that spots would roll down. And I publicly messed that up really bad because I was like, oh, all right, Danny already told me she's not going to take care. So I was like, oh, it'll just roll down to Jane. Easy enough. No. That's not how it worked. So, yeah, I'm glad that it kind of worked out, even though without things rolling down, it still worked out the way it was supposed to, which was great.
Mm-hmm. I was unsure about that too, because I had heard from some people they didn't roll down. But then when I finished, I had a few people tell me like, you just made the team, the spot rolls down. I was like, I don't know what the real information is here, but I hope they weigh fourth, fifth, sixth places heavily enough that it technically kind of rolls down.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. Technically.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel? Are you excited? Like, have you changed pretty much all your summer plans now for racing now that you're on this team?
A little bit, because I had a lot of tentative plans for this year, and I really couldn't make a decision of what I wanted to do this year. So I feel like it was good timing that this happened. I'm like, okay, now I have a set decision of what I'm going to prioritize this year. So that's definitely my focus for the rest of the year is that race. I was signed up for Leadville, obviously not doing that. I was back and forth between that as well because I don't quite feel ready to run 100 miles. So that's obviously off the table. But I was going to do a UTMB qualifier in October. I was going to do Kodiak 100K. That's too close now. I won't be doing that. So I didn't really have a plan for the rest of the summer, which makes it all the better that I was able to qualify for this team. So now I kind of have a solid race in the schedule, but I did have the idea of spending some time in the Tetons. So I actually got to Wyoming yesterday. So I'll spend August in Wyoming. I feel like it's a good training ground for Worlds. I'm going to play around on the Grand a little bit, and then I'll do Cirque Series end of August in Targhee, and then the Worlds in end of September. And then I do want to get some sort of UTMB qualifier in so that I can race a UTMB race in 2026, but I'm unsure what that will look like. So I don't know if it really changed my year's plans or just kind of gave me more of a solid schedule for the year.
Nice.
But yeah, the rest of my summer is looking fun.
I'm so jealous. I will see. I actually just signed up for Cirque Grand Targhee yesterday, so I'll see you out there. So excited to be out. I raced it last year. I had so much fun. That course is awesome. Yeah, it's so beautiful too. Like even like it blows Colorado out of the water. It's so wild. It's so different. Like there's just so much wildlife. It's a cool area. Like I really love that just like zone in general.
I have not yet done the Targhee race, so I'm very excited. And I really haven't spent much time in Wyoming at all. So it's like a whole new landscape and super pretty trails. It's so beautiful. I'm excited.
Are you on the Jackson side or are you on the Idaho side?
Idaho side.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. That's the better
Staying
side.
in,
Yeah.
That's what I hear. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm doing the tomorrow. I don't know when this will come out, but tomorrow there's a hill climb at Jackson Hole Resort that I'm signed up for. So
Rendezvous. Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, there's a lot of like really cool like little I shouldn't say Rendezvous is a little race because it's pretty big. Like Joe Gray, like there's gonna be quite a few people that like race this race. But like not just that, they also have on the other side, there's like good mountain bike races, there's good 50, like there's a lot of like really solid races in the area that they put on. So there's a lot going on, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. That's what it seems like.
And you're gonna like Rendezvous. That's a sweet course. Like that's as fun as it gets. Up this like basically just 4,000 something feet and like I think it's like 5 or 6 miles, which is bananas. So
yes, brutal. Good training for the World's course.
That's right. Have you projected any of that course yet? Like have you looked at anything like just kind of like topo maps or try to figure out like all right, like what's the vertical relief on this, that, and the other? Like how technical is it? Like do you guys have any like info you're privy on ahead of time?
I honestly haven't looked at it too much yet. I've looked on the website, talked to my coach a little bit. about like the elevation profile, and pretty much all I know is if it starts with a massive climb. And there's just so much climbing in the race, and it's going to be steep and pretty techy. I have to get really good at hiking and downhill running, which are two things that could use a lot of work for me. But other than that, I don't know too much about the course yet. So it's on my homework for the next couple of weeks is to do some course practice. And I'm going out 2 weeks early with most of the short course women's team, and we're going to kind of pre-run the course and scout different areas, which will be helpful.
Nice project. That's perfect. Back to Wyoming. I still ask you this question just because out of pure curiosity. I know you said you're going to play a little bit on the Grand. Is it more just scouting? Is there potential you might go for the FKT this year? Like, is there anything like, I don't know, anything that like stokes your enthusiasm for that?
Yes, my goal. Okay, so I've never done the Grand, so I can't say. I feel like it's naive for me to say that I'm going for the FKT on it. That is why I'm out here. That's my goal. I'm doing it for the first time on Sunday, so I think that'll give me a lot of insight into like how fast I'll be able to do it, how much the exposure gets to my head, things like that. So I came out here with the intention of doing it many times and hopefully by the end of August giving it an FKT attempt. But I really have no idea if that's in my wheelhouse or how I'm going to do on the Grand. I feel like it's within my skill set because there's like a lot of steep running, some technical sections, boulder fields. So I feel like I'm capable of it if I can stay in a good headspace. So I'm hopeful that I can give it a shot by the end of August at an FKT attempt. But I think it'll depend on how I feel.
Nice. Just don't cut the switchbacks.
I know.
I have to every time I have to throw that
mistake.
It's not even that. It's just like I have to throw a little bit of a low blow at some fun at Michelino just because I can every time I can. Shout out Michelino, we love you.
I told him I'm doing this. I think he invited me to do the Gram with him on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I'll get some insider scoop, but he was excited and supportive of me trying it. So
oh yeah, he's the man. He's like as
sure.
helpful as it gets with everything and that stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. All right. So I can't wait to follow along. Hopefully end of August when I see you at Targhee, we'll have something more to talk about when it comes to that. So could be good stuff there.
Yeah.
Let's talk Cirque Snowbird. That is such a hard course. Like there's a lot of vertical in that one. You and Alexa obviously had a great race together. I gotta say one thing. I talked to Alexa about this because it made me laugh. You and her broke the curse. Like I've blown up, Michelino's blown up. Very few people actually, and then Jackson followed you because Jackson won Aliasca. But like nobody tends to usually do very well because of the way, and this is a call out of Steve. Why do we have to do the course preview the day before the race? What the hell? But anyway, there was like nobody's really ever done very well until you guys. So there you go. You broke the curse.
Totally. And when we were doing it the day before, we both felt terrible. And we were like, Steve, this is such a bad idea that you have people do the course preview the day before. We were both like hands on our knees, like we already feel bad. Like we both had rough weeks. And we're like, and he's like, it is a curse that no one who's done the preview the day before has won the race. So we were hopeful that we could break the curse, which we did, but we were both pretty surprised because we weren't having the best weeks, fatigue and leg wise. But yeah, it was really fun to race against Alexa. And honestly, I felt like that race was harder than Broken Arrow just because they're so short and steep and fast. And I wasn't feeling the best. Like my legs just felt really heavy all week. But it was a fun race. But you were right. Those are really hard, especially having to run the preview the day before.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your take on that because I thought the same thing, and it's funny he said that because like the curse was real. You guys broke it. That's so cool.
We didn't think we would, and we were giving Steve crap for that because we're like, this is, I don't know, to have people who might do well in the race and make them run the course and all that climbing the day before. We hiked most of it, and we're like, if you need us to run for camera, just tell us when we need to run. Otherwise, we're just hiking.
See, you know what, dude? I felt pressure. I was like, man, I feel like I have to run this. So I ran it, like, and I'm like, I looked at my afterwards. I uploaded it. And it was like high 7 minute, low 8. And I granted I was on the East Coast, but it was like high 7 minute, low 8 minute grade adjusted pace. I was like, I probably just ran that way too fast. I was like, I'm going to die tomorrow. And just, like, I was like, I should just put my foot down and just be like, dude, I'm going to hike this. And should have just hiked the entire thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's you live and you learn. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I love the Cirque series so much. I'm like, this was such a cool honor. I'm like, this is such a, like, I'm never going to get an opportunity to, or maybe not get an opportunity to do this again. So it's like, I got to make it fun. Why not? So yeah, it's fun stuff. Race must have played out pretty well for you. Obviously you took the dub. Any notes on the race, anything like that? Like, will you come back to Snowbird, or you think you'll do Alta next year or anything like that?
Definitely. I would love to do Alta. It didn't line up with my schedule this year, but this was my third time doing the snowboard course. Love that race. It was my first ever trail race in 2016, so it's special to me. It I knew this race had a strong women's field. And the first mile, they changed it for construction. The first mile was, or the first half mile was downhill on pavement. So it was so fast. And Alexa and Rachel were ahead of me. I think I was maybe like fifth or sixth woman at that point. They were running sub 5 minute miles. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I will not ever be able to keep up with you guys. So I started out a little bit slower and came in like sixth, seventh female starting up the first climb. But then I caught up to the front, and me and Alexa ran together for most of the climb up. And it was really cool because she would go ahead a little bit, and then she would like cheer me on and be like, come on, Jane, let's go. We got this. So I would pick it up a little bit, and then I would pass her a little bit on the climb, and then I would cheer her on and kind of bring her along too. So we piggybacked up the climb. And it was stressful because we were both breathing so hard. Like we were audibly like struggling. We were working really hard, but we were running together. And then I gained a little bit of ground on the climb going up to Hidden Peak. But was running scared the whole time because I could see her, I could see Rachel, and I'm a stronger climber, not as much of a descender. So when I got to the top, I was like, I have to turn it on because anybody can catch me at any moment. And my legs didn't feel great. I was a little bit over caffeinated, so I was like kind of jittery too. But the fun thing about the Cirque Series races is you can just like go as hard as possible from the beginning because it's going to be over, and as much pain that you're in, like there's always not too many miles ahead of you. So I don't know, ran as hard as I could from start to finish, hoping that they wouldn't catch me, because you can't really tell on the descent because I'm not like looking behind me, seeing where people are at. So I just sent it as fast as possible. And I don't feel like I'm that good of a technical downhill runner, like in my training, but for some reason in races, like you can shut off your brain and just like run really fast downhill.
That's amazing. What a race. And like, yeah. And like you said, like the women's field, like Rachel T there, like there was an Alexa, like there's a deep group of ladies. Like that's a solid field. So I love the fact that like, there's no slouch races anymore in the Cirque series. Like every one of them, like it doesn't matter like which one you pick, someone like there's a group showing up. It's never easy anymore, which is kind of cool. I like how competitive it's starting to get.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And snowbird being, because I am born and raised in Salt Lake. I just moved out last year. So my family was there. My sister was there. I had a lot of friends there. So it was just kind of really fun to
it's so special.
Win that race in my backyard.
Yeah, so crazy. All right. So we got Targi next on deck. We've got some stuff going on possibly with the Grands, and then obviously Worlds. I feel like this might be a good place to put a bookend on, and we can pick back up when I think there'll be a lot of stuff to talk about in August and then at Worlds. So I appreciate you coming back on for a quick little chat. I just needed to get the, some of the breakdown of Broken Arrow and, all that. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming back on for a quick chat. And this is awesome.
Yeah. Yes. Thanks for having me back. It's always fun to chat on this pod.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Wishing you the absolute best of luck, and I'll see you in Wyoming. Should be fun.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Jane.
We'll see you then.
Appreciate it. Guys, how awesome is Jane for coming on the pod? Really appreciate her time and want to wish her the absolute best of luck, both with the rest of what she's got up to as far as projects for the rest of the summer, as well as on Worlds, which is pretty crazy. being on the Worlds team, or else you will represent Team USA. So before you get going, you can follow her on Instagram. Give her a follow. You can find her at _Jane Maus _ that's _Jane, JaneMaus _ Give her a follow. Let her know what you guys thought about the episode. I'm sure she would appreciate your kind words, especially as she gets ready to go represent Team USA. So guys, if you enjoyed this episode and are a fan of the podcast, give us a 5-star rating and review. We would really appreciate that. It's how we can continue to tell these great stories of all these amazing athletes. And you can get us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you consume your podcast. Thanks so much. People, what's going on? It is summer, guys. Super exciting. Adventures in the mountains, summer races. It's about that time to start thinking about your gear. I want to say our brand partner, Ultimate Direction's got you guys covered. Pop on over to ultimatedirection.com. Check out a whole quiver and new vests and belts that have just dropped. Pop on over to check out the new race and ultra vests. Race vest in a 6-liter, the ultra vest in a 12, and beautiful new aesthetic colorways. Definitely dynamic and stretchy, cool new materials. Definitely something that can definitely buff out your kit for 2025. On top of that, we did just drop a brand new pole quiver that's compatible for all of these vests. Definitely something you're going to want to add. And if you're not a vest person, pop on over to the belt section. You can check out the utility belt and the comfort belt. The utility belt is a little bit more of an ultra belt, more storage capacity, a little bit thicker, and ability to hold poles. The comfort belt's a little bit smaller. Think sub-ultra or workout maybe oriented belt that's going to hold your gels and your phone. Still super durable, but just a little bit tinier for those smaller adventures or maybe shorter races like a Cirque Series race or something like that in the mountains. So pop on over to ultimatedirection.com. They have you covered for all your hydration solutions. Use code SteepStuffPod for 25% off. Again, that's SteepStuffPod, one word, for 25% off. Ultimate Direction's got you covered. And if you have any questions, shoot me a DM. Let me know. I'd be happy to answer any product-related questions for you guys. So thanks so much. Check out Ultimate Direction.